Sansa 6 shows us the aftermath of what happened with Ned at the Sept of Baelor and how that is affecting Sansa, as we find that in her room she has given herself to the darkness as she has fallen into a state of depression. She is not eating, she sleeps all the time, waking only to cry and then falling asleep again, to the point where she isn't even dreaming at times, but when she does dream, she just goes over that event over and over again, and how Joffrey completely shattered her reality by lying to her face when he smiled at her, making her think that she had achieved her perfect goal, only for it to be thrown away. She even contemplates throwing herself from her window in order to spite those who have contained her and make them shamed in the eyes of men and gods. However, she cannot summon the courage to do this and runs back to her bed sobbing. At some point, we even find that Maester Pycelle was sent to examine her to see what was wrong with her, and even, as she put it, touched her all over while she was undressed, while her bedmaids held her down, begging the question of what exactly was he doing to her, as we do know from real-world medicine that it was not uncommon in less enlightened times to consider the act of depression in a woman to be something such as hysteria, and to perhaps think that the cause to remedy this was to provide her with some form of sexual stimulation. Joffrey then comes to her room accompanied by the Hound and demands that she attend court and snap out of it, and the Hound directs her to get dressed while she screams at Joffrey that he killed her father when she wanted him to have mercy, to which Joffrey replies that he granted him mercy by giving him a quick death, as a traitor should have deserved worse. And it's at this point that Sansa stares at him and begins to see through her rose-tinted glasses, which have now shattered, and everything that she sees in his physical features leads her to disgust. Joffrey then has Sir Meryn Trant hit her in order to humble her as he sees it. Joffrey then leaves with Sir Aris and Sir Meryn in tow, while Sandor remains, only to give her the warning to give Joffrey what he wants. 3 hours later, Sir Meryn returns in order to escort her to the throne room. While in court, Sansa observes Joffrey dishing out his own brand of justice, and in turn looks upon the councillors, noticing Janos Slynt and despising him for his role in throwing Ned down for execution, and then also notes to herself, Peter Baelish in this very room once told her there are no heroes, and that life is not a song, and you will learn that one day to your sorrow. In this life, the monsters win, she reminds herself. She has now fully broken her rose-tinted glasses. After court is finished, Joffrey takes Sansa and then they walk together. And as Joffrey continuously puts her down, she can only agree with him, reminding her again that the Hound was right. She is only a little bird repeating the words that she was taught to say. It is noted that Joffrey's name day is approaching, showing that we have basically come nearly a full year since the start of the story. And she soon realises that where Joffrey is leading her is towards the battlements, where the heads of all of his traitors are put on iron spikes. Joffrey tries to goad her by showing her the head of her father. However, Sansa now tries to use her belief in fantasy in order to mask her reality to give her strength against what is happening, believing to herself that the things that she is being shown don't really look like what they are. Joffrey reveals that he has already received word that Robb has defeated Jaime in battle. And so Joffrey vows that despite Cersei's command that they must stay in the city in case Renly or Stannis attack, Joffrey plans after his name day to raise an army and then take the battle to Robb himself in order to provide Sansa with Robb's head as a gift. Sansa then hears herself speak as if without her own agency, telling him that perhaps Robb will instead bring her his head, and this angers Joffrey, who then has Sir Meryn strike her once more. Realising that there is actually no guard on the edge of the walkway they are on, Sansa then thinks to herself that all it would take was one shove to end Joffrey and revenge for what he has done, and she even contemplates that even if she takes him over the edge with her as a consequence, then she would be okay with that. However, she is cut short from ever enacting this plan, as the Hound then kneels between the two of them in order to treat her wounds, and so she resigns herself to her fate and the mercy of Joffrey.